Hey, what's up everybody, Malakith here, and welcome back to another video for Holdfast. So this is going to be a few rounds of line battle infantry combat. The event did go on longer with siege and naval. Unfortunately, I was unable to stick around to attend those. So if you hear me commenting on those mid sort of event, unfortunately there will not be video of them as I did have to leave early. Now, for those who are interested in getting into Holdfast, the game comes out on the 21st of September. There will, of course, be public play, which does not play like the video footage you're seeing here. You know, people won't be lining up and running around like that in the public servers. They'll just be doing whatever they please. But if you'd like to get involved in these more organised play styles, then go and find yourself a regiment. If you're from Europe, please check out the 35th link in the description below. We would love to hear from you. If not, then go over to the forums and check out all of the regimental threads there. Again, the link to the official Holdfast website can be found in the description. Anyway, enough of my rambling. Let's get on with the event. So for this round, it should be mostly line infantry with 2 artillery batteries consisting of 1 officer and 4 guards. So this being the artillery officer, quite clearly, as he's loading it. The guards having the bearskin hats. We switch over to the British, you'll find a similar setup. You can just make out the artillery in the left there. Lines forming up. Musicians, as mentioned before in the previous video, will boost the stats of units around them, improving things such as reload rate and accuracy. So they are useful to have. Same for the standard bearer, I believe. Unfortunately, when the standard bearer dies, I don't think he drops the weapon. Drop weapons aren't really a thing in Holdfast, so it is lost. There is no protect the colours other than throwing your life in front of the bullet, which is, you know, a bit more difficult than picking it up and protecting it via melee. It can be used as a weapon. Let's see, where are the French? So the British seem to be coming down the left side of the map from their perspective. The French are heading to the right side from their perspective, so they will meet most likely in these ruins we can see over here. Not too sure why the officer's got his lantern out, but for night events those are useful. Officers are the only ones that can use them. It makes a nice rallying point for the men. Looks like we've got one large French line gone right and one has gone left, which means the British, if they've concentrated their forces, should have the advantage here. They appear to have done. 3 lines coming this way. The ruins giving anyone in them a nice advantage against the cannon, as it offers protection and also means you start getting into the flank of the cannon. With no horses in game yet, there is no way to currently move the artillery pieces. So if you can get around the side of them, you can attack them quite casually without taking too many losses. So I think this was the 77Y line. Yep, mouse over a couple of people, we can see that. So we'll stick with them for now. They should be engaging the French soon, although they seem to be at quite a distance, so we may get a long-distance brawl going on. They're sensible, the same why we use this hill to protect their lower halves, exposing less of themselves. You'll notice they are aiming up because there is bullet drop. You can see the splashes of dirt from the hits being quite varied, so different guys are obviously aiming different amounts. There's the French volley. Mostly dropping short, although we wouldn't see any that went high because they would fly over the heads of the British here. Seems the second British line is just forming up to fire next to the first, as opposed to trying to get any form of flanking position. Most of these shots are dropping short, so most people need to aim up. There is 1 or 2 hitting in the far distance, but they appear to be completely overcooking it. They're getting the range in though, it's walking slowly forwards. Not so good from the French there, I'm sure that dropped shorter than the previous one. Got a nice little band going on. Oh no, they're all mixed up which songs they're playing. As long as you pick the same song, you will play together. Aldemar not appreciating Rick Wrecked there apparently. Okay, we've got an advance from the 77Y. French appear to be turning left and moving out. They might just be shuffling along a little bit. Now, it is possible to reload on the move, so they could take their shots and then walk forwards as they reload. Bradders with the headshot at 130 meters. I believe we heard someone get hit there. The damage dealt by muskets and rifles decays with distance. So even if you hit these massive long-range shots, it pretty much has to be a headshot, as you're seeing, to really finish anyone off. The Pierre there getting sniped. Probably more luck than judgment to some extent, because there is variation on these shots left to right as well as altitude. So you can get your distance right, but the traverse change is a bit more out of your control. And it seems we have some light infantry here, skirmishing in front of their line. They weren't supposed to be in this round, they were supposed to be in the next round, but the cannon making its presence known. Warming up for their shots again. Little disorganized sort of ripple fire as they get into position. The French response might be devastating, but they seem to have missed. Here come the British lines to attempt a flank. Charlie executing a friendly there. And the French moving off. Likely trying to draw them back towards their own cannon. If we can jump to the French, see it from their perspective. Yeah, they're pulling back towards their cannon. It does, however, put them in view of the British cannon, and the French will have to be side on to them to really defend, unless they can use this hill to their advantage. This is a risky position. If the artillery can line this up right, we could see a mass slaughter here. Getting slowly picked off. That's a nice volley. Moving away while reloading to try and avoid getting shot in the back. Cannon aims a little high in the distance there. They will run out of space to run soon. Look at the kills. Looking fairly even. Here comes a super close range. Oh, devastating fire. 6 Frenchmen down. They should reload first though. British going with some questionable spacing there. Second French line. We'll get back to the melee. The first French line brutally murdered, and now they move in to deal with the cannon crew. Point blank shot misses. Ah, now that's interesting. The cannon shot came in from the British cannon. It is possibly not controlled by the British anymore. Looks like we might have had a disconnect. He may get volley-fired by his friends here. There he goes. We've got light infantry here skirmishing in front of their line. Nice lightning effects in the back there. See, we've got a small contingent of Brits just in front here. The lights have reattached to their line. They'll probably deploy again now that the line has formed. The French are going to be on the receiving end of the shots first by the look of it. Holding this shot, waiting for them to form up. Decide to take it. Or as a cannon comes in, and we're into some melee. Very decidedly a British victory there. Didn't see any lights on the French though, so it may have been a little uneven. See if we can find the last remaining French contingent. He's probably on the cannon. Unfortunately having to click through everything as there is no free camp. Oh, here we go. They're coming to face them head on, colours in hand. Officer duel? No, the... Oh, lovely sword swipes there. He's cutting through all of them. No. His killing spree is brought to an end. Oh dear, he snuck up on the cannon crew. Not quite sure where he came from, but... And now he can man the cannon. He's probably the last man left. Has decided he will go face his death at the hands of the bayonets. Now, will the British form a lovely firing squad to welcome him? He's definitely spotted now. Officer down, nice block. Tried to get in amongst them to force them to stab each other. Didn't quite go to plan. Okay, for round 2, we are still on Tahir Desert. This time we should have line infantry, 8 light infantry, and 6 rifles with no cannon operators, although it does look like, again, that is not being followed. So it seems the admins of the event have changed from the plan that they provided to everybody. So, looks like the French have just got a repeat of last round, although, no, they look like they may have gained some light infantry. Possibly denoted by the hats. Whether they actually play like light infantry, we'll have to wait and see. So all of the British appear to be going left towards the ruins. Let's take a look at what the French are up to. Ah, the lines are sticking together this time, and they're both coming to the right for the ruins. Drummer's feeling optimistic. He's got his sword out. Drumsticks on his support strap there. Or it's got a proper name and someone in comments will tell me. Must admit, I do like the physics on the flags. It is very nice. Looks like it's got some weight to it as opposed to blowing in the breeze. Yeah, the two French lines have split a little bit. The British using the wall as cover from one of them. Shots dropping short. Oh, lovely headshot on Rastafari there. You'll notice because we're on the flag bearer, he got an assist for providing a buff to somebody who got a kill. So you can get on the leaderboard as a support class. It's not all about the guys doing the shooting. Very good positioning from this British line just here to completely nullify getting shot by one. Team kills going on, unfortunately. 1 meter range. I would imagine somebody stepped in front of their teammate and got the head blown off. That's why you don't walk in front of people with loaded guns, especially when they're pointing at the enemy. And believe the cannon are just having a duel between themselves. It is possible to destroy artillery pieces, so we'll just have a quick check of them if we can. The British do have 2 guns intact. One of them was to get hit. It would just be a wreck pile on the floor. I don't believe there's a way to repair them at the moment. Oh, the carpenter class would do it. That was good timing for a spectacular ragdoll there. French, they still have 2 guns operational as well. Officer looking to the side to see if he can assist the lines. Line appears to be trying to draw them out towards the guns. An unfortunate position for this line. One set of enemies only showing the tops of themselves, which makes them very hard to hit. And because you're shooting over the top of a hill, you can't see how much too high you are aiming. To adjust your aim properly, you have to start low and work up. Lovely squelching noise of somebody getting hit there. The line hiding in the ruins, shuffling along to let people take shots as and when. '51st line trying to pull across to somewhere where their guns can come to us, aid them. Alternatively, just flanking them to shoot them in the ruins. This will put them in full view of the British guns, though. So we will stick with this line and wait for chaos. It looks like they may have decided better of it. The artillery all seems to have, well, I was going to say not noticed, but then we heard that come in, so they certainly did notice. While we wait for them to get into some action, for those who want to actually see how this plays from their perspective, for the siege and naval rounds I will be joining in with the units as opposed to doing it from spectator. We saw how interesting the naval battles were from spectator last time with clipping on the sails with the camera and stuff, so we'll see if we can get some better footage from in person. And there's nothing like charging a breach in siege. have the British gone? Ah. Lying in stealthy ambush wearing bright red. We'll see how this goes for them. Looks like a two-pronged ambush. This is going to be super close. Oh dear, the French caught in a horrible crossfire there. The pile of bodies showing how well that went for them. They did do some damage to the other British line, but then the secondary French line coming in to try and assist, maybe shooting just as many friendlies as enemies if they're not careful. Oh, blasting that guy that tried to charge them on the flank. The third British line and some of the lights are off to the side there. Very close call from that cannonball. Let's see if we can find some of the French melee fighters. Here we go. Oh, the officer's down. Seems the sacrificial first French line has worked quite well for the team. They are about to get flanked from behind if they're not careful, though. Been spotted. Oh, the volley fire at point-blank range. That will have sacrificed a few people. If you get caught by a melee attack while you are in shooting, you take extra damage. And it is pretty much always a one-hit kill. So the couple of British guys that got up to the French there would have almost guaranteed killing somebody. So that probably just leaves the artillery crew. They're down to 2 men. They should have been starting with 5, so I'm guessing the rest got picked off. Ah, we can see a damaged gun. I can get the camera. No, unfortunately, the officer isn't standing close enough, but you can just about make it out in the back there. It has been collapsed. There we go, that should let me get the camera. So a direct hit from a cannonball will wreck a gun like that. If the gun is loaded, it will explode. It will damage people around it. You'll see a lot of that in naval battles. We'll focus on the cannon crew here. Loads his gun. Looks down the barrel. There's a nice tasty French line in front of him. Waiting for the gun to roll forwards into position for firing. Oh, a lovely hit. Griffin catching that. Looks like he's going off to engage now. That was very close. Pistols have a lot more bullet drop than other weapons. With the exception of the blunderbuss, I think that probably has more. Now you'll see the guard there took 2 sword swipes from the officer and a bayonet to bring down. But the guards do have extra health. Les Français sont victorieux. Okay, and now we have Faustberg Forest. So this is nighttime map. I believe it is also meant to be foggy based on the script of what they're playing I've been given. It doesn't appear to be that at the moment, but it is a dynamic weather system, so it could roll in during the course of the round. We'll have to wait and see. You've got nice use of the lantern going on to round up the troops. Let them know where the officers are. It's probably easier to find your officer at night than daytime with the addition of that feature. And the enemy are out there somewhere. And having glowing lights kind of gives you a way to them as well. Let's see how the French are doing. We can find a Frenchman. Looks like we've got double rank going on. Small section of guards. That possibly is what used to be the artillery crew, but there's no guns on this map. So they've just joined on the back. Maybe they didn't remember to change class. Lovely crunching snow effect. Snow is one of the dynamic weather options available in the game that you can select, and you will see as it begins to snow that it starts to settle on rocks and branches and such like you're seeing. That is how they ultimately end up, but they do get there progressively as the weather falls on them. You'll see a similar thing with rain, sort of water effect pouring off. Oh, we've got engagement. British are going for long-range shots. Oh, double rank firing. Here we go. And a long-range headshot. 119.7 meters. Yeah, other French line to the left. One thing you'll notice, the front rank's fire does obscure the back rank if they are not quick about it. The smoke volumes up, spreads. If you are going to do double rank fire, you either need to leave large gaps between the two lines firing, or very short gaps between them firing. So you'll see here. There we go. They were obviously experiencing that problem and chose to rectify it by all firing at the same time. Now they're trying to rear rank first, which should hopefully not obscure the front rank, but it will a little bit. The bottom of the smoke cloud will certainly be a problem. But whether they can just make out the enemy through it will depend on the lighting conditions and how exposed the enemy are. We've only got one death so far. Those long-range headshots being the way of killing each other. I think the officer just then took a shot, which is what I was looking at. Oh, there we go. 51st just took out another one, 131 meters. Quite clearly see long-range duels are slow affairs. It's like we've got riflemen pushed forwards there in front, or maybe just light infantry detached from the unit. The French to the left have the light infantry for their team. Looks like the French are going to move out, potentially to try and get closer. Oh, there we go. The British are trying to flank round. That is what they're countering. So one line stayed with the lights. Possibly two lines, actually. Can't quite make them out at the distance. And then one attempted to flank down the side here, but was spotted. Oh dear. Friendly fire kill there. Necron taking out Posh Panda. The problem with double rank, you are a very dense target to fire back on. It looks like they've got the better of them in that engagement. Remaining British turning tail and fleeing. In fairness, they were rather outnumbered. Take a look at it from somebody else's perspective. We've got a line moving in for very close engagement here from the 51st with the lights in front of them. Not sure if they're charging. Oh, devastation. They're going to get hit in a crossfire again, but they're going for the melee. Oh, friendly fire. And the officer's there with the overhead sword swing. He's going for the lights. He's landed some hits. He's landed a hit on the officer. Oh, double kill. I think that was friendly fire. secondary line of French just firing into the melee, hoping to hit the enemy and not the friendlies. Either that or the words acceptable losses coming to mind. So it looks like the British have won the melee, but they are spread out and they are about to get engaged by this French line. They need to reorganize quickly. They are still dealing with stragglers, however. Oh, an officer getting friendly fired. The French bearing down on them. I think this is only going to go one way, unless there's another British line that we are not aware of in the dark hiding. 14E Knight holding them up as much as possible. One of the admins coming in. Saved by the gunshots of the French line. It's like there's a musician left. He's killing everyone. Hemarai on a bit of a rampage there. But not enough.